49, 50. So, guess you're wondering why we're sitting here watching me lift weights, because today what we're going to do is we are going to talk about weights. In particular, we're going to be talking about the metric system and how we use grams and kilograms and how we're going to use those things to compare should we use grams or kilograms.
But let's start off with an introduction to the metric system.
The International Space Station is a floating research laboratory in space. Here, astronauts from around the world work together to make new discoveries and to learn new things. For this reason, it is important that all the scientists on board use the same system of measurement. While people in the United States use U.S. customary units of measure, such as inches, pints, and pounds, the metric system is the system of measurement that most people use around the world. On the International Space Station, the astronauts use the metric system. The metric system is also preferred in certain fields such as science, medicine, and technology. Metric units can be used to measure length, mass, volume, and temperature. Mass is sometimes called weight, although these terms do not really mean the same thing. Mass is the measurement of an object's content, while weight is a measure of how an object interacts with gravity. While astronauts can float weightlessly in space, they still have the same mass they had on Earth.
Hello? Hello? Oh.
The basic metric unit of mass is the gram. A dollar bill, a raisin, or a paperclip each weigh roughly 1 gram. 1,000 grams make 1 kilogram, the most commonly used measure of mass or weight in the metric system. We can use kilograms to measure the mass of these young people. He weighs 33 kilograms, which is equivalent to a little more than 72 pounds. She weighs 26.5 kilograms, which is equivalent to a little more than 58 pounds. Very small mass can be measured in milligrams. A milligram is 1,000th of a gram, which means that each gram contains 1,000 milligrams. There are 1 million milligrams in 1 kilogram. One small butterfly has a mass of roughly 500 milligrams.
All right, so our main goal today is to talk about how a gram is really a measure of mass. But here on Earth, we consider mass the same thing as your weight, because it's really the pull of gravity on you. So if I draw a little feather here, and we all know what a feather is, I know that that feather is not very massive. In other words, it doesn't have very much weight. Now if I go ahead and I draw a big boulder, and I'll draw a big boulder over here, and I'll draw some little lines here on the side. That thing is huge, right? And I know that thing is massive. So notice the word mass in both of those. So really mass means how much stuff is in a particular amount of space. And that's what we're going to be learning about today. We're going to learn about if something is light, most likely we're going to measure it in grams. If something is heavy, or on a little bit more on the heavy side, we're going to use kilograms. Okay, and kilo just means 1,000 grams. All right, I've already talked about how things that are light are in grams. But I do want to talk about the word kilo. Now you'll notice it's called kilogram. So kilo really just means 1,000. So when we say something is a kilogram, it means that it is 1,000 grams. So the kilogram is the most common unit of measurement that we will find in the metric system as far as weights go, because most things are not super light. Most things would be more on the heavier side. All right, so here's some examples about weights that are in grams and both kilograms as well. So like a paper clip or a feather is going to be right around 1 gram. A soup spoon would be about 25 grams. But when we notice things that get a little bit heavier, like the laptop, that is going to be 2.5. And the kg stands for kilograms. So that means 2,500 grams. Your average soccer ball is about 500 grams, or about half a kilogram. And once we start thinking about human beings, like a man, we're going to talk about kilograms. So this man example here is about 75 kilograms, I should say. All right, now it's time for us to see what we've learned. We've got two things here. We've got a regular house cat and a small field mouse. One of them weighs 3 kilograms and the other weighs 35 grams. Which of those do you think weighs 35 grams, and which one do you think weighs 3 kilograms? Well, hopefully you realize that a cat will weigh much more than a field mouse. So the cat is on the heavier side, so the cat weighs 3 kilograms, where the field mouse, which is very light, only weighs 35 grams. And remember, 1 gram is about the weight of a paper clip, so the field mouse weighs about 35 large paper clips. All right, now we have 2 more things that we are going to compare. It looks like I've got little baby Baba sheep over here and a tennis ball. Of those 2, which one do you think weighs 45 kilograms and which one do you think weighs 55 grams? You make the call. So hopefully you got it right. It looks like the sheep is 45 kilograms and the tennis ball is 55 grams. All right, this one's going to be a little bit different. This time I want you to estimate the weight of each object. So how many grams do you think the pencil weighs? And how many kilograms do you think the guitar weighs? Make your best guess. Write it down now. All right, for today's You Do, I want you to complete the matching activity on the next slide. What you're going to do is you're going to put the weights in the correct order from lightest to heaviest and have fun with it.